Hey there, Fort Atkinson Online. This is David Firari reporting in from the Appalachian Trail again. It's been 2 months since I checked in. I have finished what will hopefully be the last of my infusions for this trip. Spent some time in Fort, went and saw some bands at Summerfest as a little treat. And now I'm back out here. I believe when I last left you, I was in central Virginia, somewhere around within the 800-mile mark. And in the last 8 weeks, I hiked another 800. I got picked up just after the 1600-mile mark, which is just at the end of Massachusetts. So I'm out here hiking to finish Massachusetts and Vermont. I'm doing it a little strangely from what I normally do. I am hiking southbound because here's another through hiking term, backpacking term. I'm slack packing. This is, can I get the shot? Yeah, that's not my full big pack. That's just about a day and a half of food, first aid, and water in there basically, because a slack pack is where you only hike with the equipment and food and water that you need for the day, and then you get picked up at the end of the day and typically taken back somewhere nice. So the place that my dad, who drove me out here, and I are staying at, I'm gonna hike today and then go back there tonight. And so to make it easier for that pickup, I'm going to hike south so that I'm hiking towards where my dad will pick me up from, so that he doesn't have to drive further to get me. Which means technically, I'm in Vermont. Woo, made it to Vermont. But I haven't finished Massachusetts. I will at the end of the day. So I'm hiking south, where I will cross the Vermont-Massachusetts border, hike my last 7 miles of Massachusetts, and then tomorrow I'll get dropped off, and I'll keep going northbound the way that I normally hike, assuming things work out. And I say assuming things work out because, as you may have pieced together, me hiking Vermont, Vermont called a state of emergency 2 days ago for the, quote, catastrophic rains, end quote, that were going to come through and obliterate especially the section of trail that I'm hiking, but just Vermont in general. So I set out today knowing that there's a solid chance I'd have to turn around for my own safety, but I'm very happy to say that this specific section in the very south of Vermont, it's been about 2 days now since the worst of the rain came through, and while the trail is still wet, here, you taste here. So this is the trail with water flowing through it, but it is doing much better than the worst of the rain. I believe the figure that I remember is that they got about 5 inches in a few hours. So just, massive flash floods, that kind of thing. So I believe that a few days ago this would have been its own current pouring down the trail. But the point is, I had backup measures in place to get me off trail. If I encounter something where I'm like, that's impassable, I can turn around and my dad will come get me. But I think for this specific section, I will be okay. We'll have to see about how the trail's recovering tomorrow, but that's for tomorrow. But yeah, so got my brand new orange shoes, which you can no longer tell are brand new because slop. But otherwise, back to the big picture. The hike's going very well. Like I said, I still have health, no injuries to speak of. Let me find a tree to knock on wood for that. really easy to say things without jinxing yourself in the woods, because you can just always find a tree to knock on. That's going well. From where I will end today, I'll have a little less than 600 miles. So that's, call it about 580 miles remaining after I'm done today. And for reference, I've been averaging about 110, 120 miles a week, weather and trail permitting. And the trail is only going to get more difficult from what I've researched and what people who I've hiked with that are already up in New Hampshire and Maine have said. New Hampshire is very difficult. Maine is more difficult. There's an old thru hiker saying that once you make it to New Hampshire, you've hiked about 80% of the miles and done about 20% of the effort. So it's going to be difficult. So I know that my mileage is going to slow down for that, just for what I can physically output and for my own safety. But if we stick to about 120 miles a week, then I'd have about 5 weeks left. I know I won't stick to 120 a week. It will be less. So about somewhere around 6 or 7 weeks left on the trail, if I had to estimate. I am not targeting any specific day to end, because I know for myself, once I put a date, I'm only going to be thinking about, is what I'm doing today getting me to that date, which is going to detract from enjoying each day. So I have an estimate on, it'd probably be somewhere around August 19th, give or take a week. But time and weather and trail will tell. But I am back out here. I am doing very well. I am still enjoying the trail, though I will admit that I am getting more and more homesick each week. But I'm trying to stay positive and view that as a good thing about, hey, if you're homesick, that means you got something to look forward to at home, which is a blessing to have. So, so in theory, next time I check in with y'all, I will be a thru hiker and done and back in Fort Atkinson. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep hiking through all of this sludge, and I'll wish everyone well back home. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to see what this trail has, and I can't wait to share it with you when I'm done. Knock on wood. Bye.